At this moment, wherever you are moving along with the planet at a speed of hundreds of meters per second. But what if, by chance, the Earth started to decelerate until it completely stopped rotating? The Earth's rotation around its own axis is what determines the day and night cycle we experience in a 24-hour period. However, this rotation does not occur uniformly everywhere. At the equator, the speed is over 460 meters per second. As we approach the poles, the rotation speed decreases. At the poles, whether north or south, the rotation speed is virtually zero. Millions of years ago, the Earth only took 22 hours to complete one full rotation around its axis. Every century, our days increase by 2 milliseconds. If this deceleration intensified, and the Earth completely stopped rotating in a year, we would face daily catastrophic changes. The first signs of this massive deceleration would be significant climate changes. This is because the Earth's rotation triggers the Coriolis inertial force. In the Northern Hemisphere, the air moves to the right, while in the Southern Hemisphere, it moves to the left. This movement causes the warm air to move away from the poles. However, if the Earth slowed its rotation, the warm winds from the equator would start to migrate to the upper and lower regions of the globe. Simultaneously, the cold air from the poles would migrate back towards the equator. These changes in wind patterns would bring catastrophic consequences, resulting in torrential rains and elevated global temperatures. The landscape around the world could turn your rural home into what seems like an endless desert, while areas once covered by frozen tundra would become arable land. These alterations would destabilize ecosystems worldwide. Plants and animals would perish due to their inability to adapt. On the flip side, hurricanes would lose their reason for existence. They form due to the Coriolis inertial force, and without it, they would simply cease to exist. The changes in the world wouldn't stop there. The Earth's rotation would slow down, but that doesn't mean the ground would stay in the same place. Earth is like an onion, composed of various layers, crust, mantle, and core. As this onion we call home reduced its speed, these layers might not keep up with the same pace. This would result in intense friction between them, indicating earthquakes and volcanic activity. This deceleration over a year would trigger a series of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Regions like Sweden, Saudi Arabia, and others not accustomed to these natural events would experience them in unprecedented ways. However, if you could survive this period of seismic activity and thermal intensity, you would end up living on a planet where earthquakes were a thing of the past. The most significant changes would occur in the oceans. Those globes in your school misled you. The Earth is not a perfect sphere, it bulges at the equator. This phenomenon is caused by the centrifugal force resulting from, you guessed it, the planet's rotation. The Earth is compressed, and the equatorial diameter is 43 kilometers larger than the polar radius. As the Earth lost speed, the bulge at its center would diminish. Ocean water would move away from the equator, flowing towards the poles. If you lived near the beach, you would notice the coastline receding, a clear sign that something is happening. We hope you don't own a beach house in the Northern Hemisphere. Canada, the United States, and Greenland would be engulfed by the vast blue ocean, as well as areas in northern Siberia, Asia, and Europe. We apologize for that. Changes would be gentler in the Southern Hemisphere, where new landmasses would emerge as the ocean shifted towards the poles. Africa would connect to Madagascar. Australia, New Guinea, and finally Indonesia would also undergo this transformation. When the year ended and the Earth stopped completely, the equatorial region would be completely devoid of water. A megacontinent would emerge, a landmass so vast that it would encircle the globe, dividing the ocean into two parts. Let's call it the ring. No, we're not talking about that ring. This one would have a literally seismic impact. With this enormous landmass, it would be possible to walk the entire equator on foot. Tourism agencies would profit from the megacontinent, offering hiking and trail packages around the circumference of our planet. Everest would be a thing of the past. If you achieved this feat, you would have reason to boast about conquering the ring. However, you wouldn't be alone on this journey. As the Earth slowed its rotation, days and nights would become progressively longer. When the rotation completely stopped, a day on Earth would last for 6 months. During these semi-annual cycles, the planet would experience extreme temperature fluctuations, ranging from frigid -55 degrees Celsius to scorching 55 degrees Celsius. Additionally, we can't ignore the total collapse of our circadian cycle. 6 months of darkness would lead to peaks in bone deformities and dental problems due to the global absence of natural vitamin D. There would also be an increase in seasonal affective disorders, presenting symptoms such as loss of energy, excessive sleepiness, and feelings of hopelessness. Navigating through the ring would involve experiencing both pleasant weather and embarking on an adventure. However, gravity wouldn't be on your side. With Earth slowing down, you would notice greater difficulty in moving around. You wouldn't feel heavier, but your bathroom scale would disagree. This is because the Earth's rotation generates a centrifugal force that neutralizes much of gravity. The lack of rotation would mean you would experience gravitational force in its full intensity, resulting in the feeling of having gained a few extra pounds. Sooner or later, conditions would worsen. The planet's magnetic field, partially generated by its rotation, would disappear, exposing us to the damage caused by solar radiation. Society would grapple with the shortage of essential services and irreversible damage to power grids, internet connectivity, and navigation systems. However, if the Earth were to suddenly stop spinning, a faulty cell phone would be the least of your problems. All of us in every part of the planet would be in trouble. But that's a story for another video.